Hey, Officer Nighty.
Hey, Miss Webb, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, everybody that's joining now to my Instagram Live, hello, and I hope everybody's going well. You can see Miss Webb here with us from Aberdeen Middle School. Miss Webb,
Hi.
you're probably as new as this to this live thing as I am. So, but down at the bottom of the screen, you'll start to see the comments. So,
I see them.
if you see something that pops up or whatever, stop mid sentence and answer whoever. You can scroll up and down if you want. So, let's start off, Miss Webb. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I have actually taken up sewing. So thanks to one of our seventh grade scholars, Corinne, like she is an SGA and she got me into sewing. So when I've had some downtime, I've been sewing skirts. I sewed some pants and I did post those. I've been kind of sewing some tops. So I'm definitely doing a little bit of work.
Excellent. One of the things I had put out there today was being an educator and now a principal of Aberdeen Middle School, a fine one at that. How important is it for these scholars to stay educated while we're off for this what I call coronavirus 19 school shutdown?
Right. So I saw a student, I don't know who that was. I didn't catch the name, talk about online classes through Zoom. So right now we're not doing that. Right now we are sticking with the packets that were given out and that's on the HCPS site. This is an amazing time for students to actually do some real world activities. For instance, I talked about taking up sewing. And so with that, a lot of that is that geometry piece. So the measuring, the cutting, doing a little bit of drawing. The other thing, just looking at cooking. So recipes, doing stuff around the house. I saw some of our teachers doing things with planning. I have a daughter who's in high school and she's actually taking this time we have aloe vera plants and she's like cutting the plant and she's using it for face masks or for items for her hair, but she's also doing some artwork. So it's actually a time for families to kind of come together and for us to bridge how do you use those strategies that we've taught you in a real world situation. How do you use the measuring? That's the reading component. How do you use that math component? And this is a great time to do that with people that you love.
That's awesome. So I know I know a lot of students can't get those packets. They just don't, their parents don't have transportation and stuff like that. Is Harford County Public Schools, are they offering to deliver them, or how does a student that doesn't have access to a computer to print it or to get to a location like one of the schools they're doing the lunches, how do they get those packets?
So for right now, the packets are not being delivered to homes. Packets were delivered to the food site. So for example, Aberdeen Middle School was a food site and there were packets out there. There were also packets throughout the county. And again, those items are online. And I know that most of our students have cell phones. Again, now would be the perfect time to actually use those cell phones for good and to go on. Right. Because you only really have to. Yes, like use it for good. And then last resort, if a student is really just not able to access the packet with any of those ways, they can always reach out to us on our Instagram or they can reach out to you and you can kind of deliver that message to us and we can figure out how to help them.
Yeah, one of the things I did this week, and I just want to get this question real quick, it says, will there be an opportunity for kids to submit work for grades?
So great question. And your teachers will find out more about that tomorrow. And so that way you will hear the answer to those questions in this upcoming week.
All right, so hopefully that answers the question. I think this is the same question. How do kids submit assignments for grades?
Yeah, so same thing. We will meet with teachers first next week, starting tomorrow, actually, and they'll be able to answer those questions.
Right.
Hi, Ms. Mock.
Oh, hi, Ms. Mock. How will the third quarter end?
Again, this is something that we are going to discuss with teachers. Unfortunately, I don't want to give away everything because I haven't met with the staff yet, and we'll do that meeting on Monday. But I don't want students to worry about third quarter. I do want you, if you know that you are not satisfied with your third quarter grade, keep that in mind. And and this next week when we're making contact with you, then kind of let your teacher know, or share that with your teacher, and we'll certainly be more than willing to work with you.
You said about the teacher making contact with you. Is that all of Harford County? Does that include the high school, middle, and elementary, where teachers are going to be contacting their parent, the students' parents, to talk about?
Again, we're going into this Monday. I know that people are like, they want to know everything now. And so when we meet with the teachers Monday, we'll give that direction. It is one of those situations where we do have to kind of the chain of command. I think about my military experience, and so we have to take our orders from up top. I do want kids to not so much worry about that third quarter piece as it is now. What are you doing in this moment? In this moment when you're home, are you helping out at home? In this moment, are you reading a novel? Are you writing? Are you doing any of those things that are kind of in that packet? But as always, like as we always do at Aberdeen Middle School, we are willing to work with our students.
Absolutely. So going back, we talked about the packets and students that may not be able to get them. I reached out this week to some of the different communities that I know where students don't have transportation or they don't have technology access. So if you're watching this or you're watching this later and you are one of those parents of a student, or you are a student that can't get your packet for the next 2 weeks, please reach out to me, because I'm going to print them myself and I will deliver them to the community managers, and then you can go pick them up from them.
We really appreciate that, Officer ID.
Anything else you want to say? I see. Looks like Miss O'Hara is on board here. Hi, Miss O'Hara.
Hi, Miss O'Hara. We also want kids to kind of incorporate some fun activities and maybe send that to us so that we can post them. So I know that you have upcoming a TikTok Tuesday.
Yes.
And I'm working on my TikTok moves with Nia.
I may need some dancing
I don't know how
lessons.
well I don't know how well that's gonna be, but if kids are able to do that TikTok piece, and again, we don't always need technology. So opening up a book, I know that's a little bit old school, but now would be the time for our kids who have used some of those skills in our club days. So I posted a little while ago some of the activities we did with our clubs. Like, use those things now. Think about games, think about video editing, think about that planning piece. So whatever club that you were in, it might be a little bit difficult with the basketball, but if you have a garage, then that's certainly something that you can do. You would have to do it on your own since we're doing social distancing. But now is the time for us to see kids using all of the skills that we've given them this year.
Absolutely. Eighth grade transition to high school. We don't return this year. Starts off having.
So that is an amazing question, and in our meetings we will discuss that. Traditionally, we've not done much of a transition to high school. There have been instances where we walked over to the high school, so you have an understanding, but not everybody is going to Aberdeen High School. We have a bit of our scholars that are going to the different magnet programs, and unfortunately we've never been able to work out that time with them. So what we can do, hi Dr. Carpenter, what we can do for those people, the kids that still need that additional time, I could talk with the other principals to see if it's a possibility to do a summer something, come and see. It's really not as traumatic transitioning as we like to. So hopefully we will be coming back. So the 24th is kind of like our deadline. So, but I know some people are concerned about if that doesn't happen. So there are a lot of if questions, if this, if that. And I don't want students to worry too much about the ifs. Let's kind of focus on like what we can do now and how we can just use this time to be with our family members.
Absolutely. Let's talk about social distancing. Now, anybody that knows Miss Webb knows that she is very particular of who handles her food and stuff like that. What advice can you give to everybody about the social distancing? And I ask you that because I feel like you're an expert in that. Like you really take that seriously since the day you were born. So let's talk about that.
I come from a pretty large family, so I do like my own space. I did have to go to the store afterwards because I worry about, like, am I gonna have all the food that I need for my house? My kids do not do leftovers. You know, James and Nia, they don't do leftovers. So I worried about that, and so I did have to go to the supermarket. And I did have to pick up a prescription from the pharmacy, and I was literally, like, I was 6 feet behind the person that was in front of me. Um, but I like my space anyway. Before we got on live, I ordered Papa John's. So I probably shouldn't have done that. But I ordered Papa John's, and they now have this system where, like, she put it on something on my doorstep. She rang the doorbell, like, I got it, I paid for it beforehand, and there was, like, no contact. So we have to take, like, the advice that we're given seriously. And I know it's hard. So my son, who James, you know, James is in college. Hi. And James was very upset that I wouldn't let him go visit friends. And I said to him, with the technology that you have, you could do like a virtual meeting. So it is important to follow the guidelines. I know we hate following rules, especially when we feel like it's stopping our fun. But now is the time for kids to think of creative ways. What have you been doing before? If you guys know, you know, Officer Nidek, that they have been using Instagram to message, to do whatever. Now is the time, you know, to do that so you can stay in touch with your friends. I know that I met with the assistant principals and we did something on Zoom. We have another meeting. I have a couple friends who are on Facebook, and so we did a meeting there, and we were still kind of keeping in touch. Some of the DJs are doing dance parties, and so you can tune in and you can dance. And so we just need to come up with other ideas. This is the age of technology. If you remember when we were younger, we thought that in 2020, like, we'd all be flying in cars and, you know, this and that. Haven't quite done that yet. But we just got to try to live as normal of a life as we can and follow those guidelines as far as staying away from people, because I don't want anyone to get sick. I know that the myth that if you're younger, then you may not contract this virus, and we just don't want to take any chances, because when we do open, I want to see all of my scholars, especially in the morning when I'm singing and dancing and they're not paying me any attention. I want to be able to see them. So let's figure out a way to still do those things, but just in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel
So
like
how are you doing though? Because you are one of those people who you still have to work. You still have to. So even though we're not in school, Officer Nidick still has other responsibilities that he has to do. So how are you kind of coping with the social distancing, being that you're a police officer?
it's rough. I'm used to being active, and you know me, I can't sit still. Um,
Right.
so it's really rough staying in that confined area of that patrol car because when I'm not in the schools, I'm on patrol. And that means working, you know, handling calls for service, contact with people, and stuff like that. Now the department has adopted a new way of policing while we're doing this, and that's basically any non-emergency call we're handling over the phone. Um,
Okay.
and you know that seems to be working, but it's man, it is rough. It's rough because I can't get out of the car and just go as freely as I want to.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm handling well. I'm trying to keep my anxiety down.
So
I
you're an
haven't seen
extrovert.
nothing. Yeah, yeah, I guess. But yeah, I'm trying to cope. I'm trying to keep the kids, upbeat. I feel like I was going to say before you asked that question. I feel like from driving around our neighborhoods that our kids they got it. They're getting it because I hardly see
Right.
any kids out. But I see more adults out. Like Friday was amazing. It was a nice day, and the people that were out was oh my gosh, I was just I'm like stay home please because
Right.
you just don't know with this thing. I think nobody's certain, and I feel like if we can all just stay in, this thing will be past us and we're back to our normal activities. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's definitely hard to. Again, I miss the kids. That's the one reason I'm like so. The PTA did the homeschool spirit week last week,
Yes.
and I started plugging that on social media. I'm giving out some gift cards, and then over this next 4 weeks. I'm like, what else can I do? What can I get these kids involved in? To bring them up, keep them pumped up. I'm like, TikTok Tuesday, which, so you're going to be the first
Right.
to hear this. Anybody that's going to follow TikTok Tuesdays, next 4 Tuesdays. Um, share with me your TikToks, no more than 15 seconds. Keep it clean. Be respectful about it. I've got 4 gift cards, $25 gift cards for Urban Air when they reopen. So Urban
Oh,
Air.
okay.
So my daughters are going to help me pick the winner each Tuesday of the TikToks I receive, and we'll get you guys a Urban Air gift card. And hope I may do a TikTok too. I don't know.
You should definitely do. We should. I don't know if you saw the one that Miss Johnson and Miss Iverson did,
I
and it
did.
was like the split screen. And yeah, we should do one of those. It's gonna take me a long time to learn to dance, but
You and me both.
or
Well,
maybe you and Blankenship.
oh, is he even on? I don't even think he has Instagram or TikTok. He, he's probably still at home with his tie on, waiting to come back to school. God bless you, Mr. Blankenship. Anybody else got any quick questions for Miss Webb about Hartford County Public Schools or anything in general? Anything you want to say while we're waiting? Anything last you want to say?
Well, I do appreciate like all the questions about grades, and know that you can always reach out to me through email. Oh, Dr. Carpenter, you're right. Nia would help me with my moves. You can always reach out to me through email or any of your assistant principals, your counselors. So we are checking our emails. And it can be random questions just like you used to ask when we were in school normally. Some people would email me and, ask me random questions. And so you can do that. Hopefully we'll see you back after the 24th. For right now, I'll continue to post videos or continue to post pictures. Oh, you're very welcome. I'll continue to post pictures just to remind you some of the things that we've done. And again, if you happen to be bored at home, then you can try to do those things. I know my kids' schedules are weird, like they stay up all night and then they sleep during the day. So somebody asked about, have you all considered having a town hall for the students via Zoom? That is actually a good suggestion. We have not. I wonder how many students actually have Zoom.
I don't even know what it is.
It was fairly easy to download. And so the issue that we always kind of run into when we do something like that is that some of our kids don't have technology. Some of our 6th grade kids whose parents follow the rules, thank you, and may not have given them cell phones yet. But I think a Zoom might be a good way, or we can do another Instagram Live. I know not everybody has that. But other counties are doing, and some private schools are doing, so some kids are like, yes, my home has Zoom. Okay, they're doing their online courses. So we're not there yet because not everyone has that technology at their home, but it's good to see that some of you have Zoom, so we can definitely look into that. Great suggestion.
Awesome. All right, Miss Webb. Well, I thank you for joining me. I really do. I was like, man, what am I going to do this week? Let me get Miss Webb on with me. So
I appreciate that. I'm
yeah,
gonna be like, Eagles always
soar.
soar.
God, I missed that. I actually do. It's really sad. I don't know if I ever told you. Some of the kids I've spoken to in the school, I talk about the fact that when I took the position 4 years ago, school resource officer, my wife's like, you're not going to like it. Yeah, you have the kids, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you deal with them on patrol. Man, 30 days into this thing at AMS, I'm like, not only is it challenging dealing with middle schoolers, but it is a lot of fun. It really is.
It is. And so you guys that are watching, I want you to know that you really do keep us going. I don't feel like I've smiled this much since I've been without you. So my kids are making me happy, but it's very exciting to see some of your comments. And although I don't know all of your names, your like screen names, looking at your pictures, I know who you guys are, and so we really do miss you. So for as much as you can, if you can reach out to us through Instagram or Facebook, and we can keep you posted or keep your pictures posted and your videos posted. And again, I hope that we see you back after the 24th, but know that we really do care. I will say personally for me, I only do this job because of you. And so you are what keeps me inspired and keeps me motivated. And I want to do the very best job that I can as your principal. So I do miss you all. Please enjoy this time with your family.
Amen to that. All right, Ms. Noble, thank you very much, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Okay, see you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.